President Trump is set to speak in the front of a joint session of Congress Tuesday night, marking his first major address since his return to the White House. Joining me now with a preview is the man himself who extended the invitation to the president, the Speaker of the House, Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, it's great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Maria, always great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Before we get to your big victory of the week and the reconciliation package that passed last week in the House, give us your sense of what to expect on Tuesday night.
Well, fireworks, in a great way. President Trump is coming in a triumphant return to Congress to address us as the president once again. And in the first month of office, he has accomplished so much that it could fill 3 hours. I suspect he'll speak in a shorter time frame than that. But, Maria, there's so much to relay. Normally, at this point in a president's term, a new president's term, they would not deliver a State of the Union. It would be just simply a joint address as it's entitled. But in this case, it actually will be more like a State of the Union address because President Trump has such a long series of victories, things that he has done, promises he has kept, and it is putting America back on a strong footing, and we can't wait to welcome him back to the chamber.
Mr. Speaker, let me get your take on what the Wall Street Journal wrote about this week. Powers of Trump and Congress collide as government shutdown nears. Democrats say Congress has given too much power to the president on spending and tariffs. Your reaction?
It's nonsense. The president is doing what he said on the campaign trail he would do, and that is restoring America's strength and dominance on the globe. He's doing exactly what he is able to do with his constitutional authority under our system of government. There's no conflict between the two branches there. The conflict is that the Democrats are uncomfortable with all this change. Why? Because they love big, bloated government spending. They really like the status quo on the world stage. They weren't really all that interested in ending these conflicts around the globe. But President Trump brings a new strength, and we're entering a new golden era of America, and that's exactly what he was elected to do, and that's exactly what he's going to lead us into.
And last week, of course, you had a big victory with the passage of the reconciliation package, but there are questions now about what happens next in terms of the Senate. The Senate has been working on a two-track plan, putting the tax cut and extensions later on in the year. Where do you see this going?
Well, I see it going the House's way, and I'm in constant contact with our Senate colleagues. And let me be clear, Maria, there is no daylight between House and Senate Republicans. We are all on one big team with the same mission, and that is to deliver the America First agenda. And that is what we are doing in earnest now. Passing the resolution last Tuesday night was the first necessary step to sort of kick off that game. It was the starting gun. It was the kickoff to a four-quarter football game, and that game begins now. It's going to be a lot of hard work to find the equilibrium point to not only extend the Trump-era tax cuts, which we need to do quickly, Maria, but because we need to give certainty to business owners, we need to give stability to the markets and to taxpayers, but all the other things that we promised, securing the border, restoring American energy dominance, cutting red tape, and the bureaucracy and the deep state, and ensuring peace through strength. All those things will be done in one big, beautiful bill, and the House has the lead on it because that's our role. I think the Senate will play along on that.
But, Speaker, the Journal is writing that opinion is hardening among Democrats, that Congress must pass measures to compel Trump to spend money on the federal programs as designated by lawmakers.
Talk about a separation of powers. In the negotiations on the FY25 spending bills here, heading up to the March 14th deadline, we'll have to probably pass a clean CR instead of separate approach bills. Why? Because the Democrats in Congress were trying to demand that as a condition of appropriations that we would somehow tie the hands of the president, limit his authority, put Elon Musk in a corner and take him off of his mission. We're not doing that. That's a non-starter, and Democrats know that. So I hope they'll be reasonable. We all have a responsibility to keep the government open and operating, and Republicans are going to do our job in that regard. We're going to pass a clean CR to get us past FY25. And Maria, the exciting thing is FY26, the budgeting where we will actually be able to change the way this is done and incorporate all the extraordinary savings that DOGE is uncovering through fraud, waste, and abuse, the other revenues that President Trump is bringing about because of his policies with the tariffs and otherwise. It's going to be a totally different ballgame for fiscal year FY26, and we are very excited to get to that point.
Wow, that is very exciting. Mr. Speaker, let me get your take on these tax extensions, because I know you want to make the tax cuts permanent, but in its current current form, based on that budget resolution last week, you don't have the money there to make the tax cuts permanent, do you? So will you ultimately have to go with the Senate plan to actually push the tax extensions to later on in the year?
Our goal is to make the tax cuts permanent, and we need to do that because it gives stability to people who are trying to make decisions long term. I think we owe that to job creators in the U.S. economy, and I think we can achieve that, Maria. The devil's in the details is in every piece of legislation to find out how exactly to enact the savings that will allow us to do that. But I think we'll have enough room to do it, and all of our Republican colleagues are going to roll up their sleeves and get to a point of consensus so that we can make this happen. We're excited to begin that work in earnest. It starts Monday morning. But we've been doing the preparation for it for more than a year. So I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to accomplish this mission, Maria.
And Tuesday night, we'll see you standing right behind the president, along with the vice president next to you. Are you expecting the Democrats to put on some kind of a resistance show on Tuesday night?
Boy, I hope not. I hope they respect the decorum of the institution. It's really important. Everybody remembers when Nancy Pelosi ripped up his State of the Union speech right behind him. It was just disgusting. It's a bad showing on the world stage. We should respect the president. Everyone should stand and give him an ovation for what he's been able to accomplish in the first few weeks. It's incredible what the new Trump administration is doing. And it's good for all Americans, and everyone will see that very soon.
All right, Mr. Speaker, we so appreciate your time this morning, and we thank you for your leadership, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great to see you.
House Speaker Mike Johnson.